This is my first attempt to build my own multi-rotor. It's a quadcopter. It is a 6-inch across by 6 inches on the main plate, and it's just made of plastic that I got at Tap Plastics. Top and bottom plate's the same. It uses the 1/2-inch wooden booms as well as the 1/2-inch landing gear that's just drilled through a hole and then zip tied on. It runs Turnigy 28 by 26 1400 kV motors with 8x45 props. The black one here is the back right motor. It's no specific reason why it's black. They're just the only ones that I had. It has the KK2 board. That's running the version 4 Acro, as well as the Hobby King orange receiver. I got 30 amp speed controllers by RC Timer, and they're the ones that come flashed with Simon K. I have the Hobby King distribution board sandwiched in between both plates here, and it seems to be working pretty well. The board itself, or at least the dimensions, are working pretty well at the moment. I am currently making a smaller one that will be using a plate about this size. You can see the size difference there. That'll be one. This one specifically that's built is made to carry the GoPro with the Terret gimbal. The smaller one will just be for me to zip around. This is how I carry the camera. I got the idea from another guy on YouTube. He actually sells these in a carbon fiber, and I'll put that in a link below. But I decided that I was going to build my own, and it seems to be working really well. I went out to my brother's job site and took some video, and I'll roll in some screenshots right now of this exact multi-rotor with exactly how you see it set up as is, flying over his job site. The camera that you see here is the Hero 2. It's actually the 960 version. And now the Terret gimbal doesn't come balanced for this camera specifically. So I had to add washers to the back and to the side here to balance it out. It's not perfect, but I only really fly so it needs to stay level. I don't really rotate it very much. So even though it doesn't stay there, it always wants to go back to center. And the basic settings out of the box for the Terret seem to be working okay. When it starts up, it shakes a little bit, but if you just touch it, it centers itself really well. The camera and the battery offset it in weight, so front and back, and all I did was put one of these here in the middle and balance the battery so that the front and back basically teeter-tottered on the piece, and that's all that needed to be done. And then I just marked it on the board, so, or the green plastic, so it's balanced enough for just regular flight. So this is my brother's job site. It's in San Francisco. What they were doing was pouring concrete onto the 4th floor deck, as well as building up to the 5th floor. Now he was there with me, and obviously I had permission to be here and do this. He was my safety officer. I wore a hard hat. I had a high visibility vest on, and I've brought 2 batteries in a total of 10 minutes of flight.
and I flew all the batteries, but I flew it in small portions. As you can see, there's not very much area to land and take off on since there's rebar everywhere. But they did have these little platforms, maybe about 1.5 to 2 feet wide, that I was able to land and take off from. This is their big crane. If you got anything from this, subscribe. There'll be plenty more after this.